Hello everyone, welcome to SI India webinar. Thank you for joining us today. We are now live with the University of Leeds. We have Christina, Rigo, Yash, Jyoti and Sujata with us today who will let us know more about this special webinar session. Please feel free to post all the questions in the chat box on the right. We will answer all the questions after the presentation during the Q&A session. So let's start. Over to you, Christina.
Thank you, Deepika. A very warm welcome to everybody joining our session today. So today's session is Careers at Leeds. We'll be talking about internships, jobs and support around employability at the University of Leeds. As Deepika said, we've got a few members of staff and a few students in the panel presenting on the topic today. In the chat box, you can type your questions. We'll get to them towards the end of the presentation. And before we begin, I just wanted to introduce myself and my colleagues here today. So my name is Christina Kowalska, and I am an international marketing manager at the University of Leeds, responsible for South Asia. I've been to India a few times and I work very closely with our colleagues in the India team. Today we have Sujata with us. Sujata, would you like to do a brief introduction?
Thank you, Christina. Hello all and welcome to this session. We have an India office based in New Delhi and Chennai. So we help the students right from application to the visa process and also for arrivals and preparing for Leeds. So the India office is more than 18 years old and we have experienced staff. We have 3 regional managers looking after North, East, West and South of India, along with a country advisor who looks after research. India office also regularly conducts lots of interview session and webinar session for students who are very much interested to study at Leeds. And if you have any questions, if you have any queries related to studying at Leeds, please feel free to contact us. Our details will be shared towards the end of the session. Thank you.
Thanks, Sujata. Raghav, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much, Christina. Hi, everyone. My name is Raghav. I'm a current mechanical engineering student doing my placement here, which is also called a Year in Industry, which is a year-long internship at Career Service. So it is part of my degree, and here I'm responsible for organizing a range of events, including and helping out on events just like on this one, giving presentations and working with actually hundreds of employers to help them promote their opportunities to our students. So all the students will be able to access what the employers have to offer. Outside my studies, I am a member of various student societies and committee member in the Leeds University Union Hungarian Society, because I'm Hungarian, so I'm an international student just like you. And also because I have experience with public speaking, I decided to help other students develop their communication skills and confidence. So I do something called Speak Up Engineers, which is on Instagram. I upload regular inspirational content for students to help them develop their communication skills and public speaking skills. Thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Raghav. So we'll now give Yash a chance to introduce himself, please.
Hey, everyone. A very good evening, I guess, if you're in India. I'm Yash, and I'm an alumni of University of Leeds. I studied MSc Advanced Computer Science. I am what you can call a part of a COVID batch because I graduated in 2020, and I've been working as a business analyst since. So apart from being business analyst, the university has taught me a lot, to do a lot of things, which also somewhere inspired me to find my own company. And apart from being just a business analyst for the current company I'm working for, I've also done an internship, and I was a partner for a brief time in another company, and I was also a Link to Leeds ambassador. If you would have attended some sessions before in 2021, I used to also give regular speeches then, giving career advices and everything. But it's fun to be back again, and I'm looking forward to listening to you guys and helping out with some questions.
Great, thanks, Yash. Really nice to see you so excited being a COVID batch. Right, Jyoti, would you like to do a little introduction as well, please?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jyoti, and I'm currently studying in University of Leeds, and I'm doing my master's in food biotechnology, and I'm in my second semester, and I literally have my exams from Monday, so I'm worried about that. But I'm also linked to Leeds Ambassador, and which is a part-time job I do along with my master's. And I also work as a bartender, and I chose University of Leeds because I always wanted to study food biotech, and University of Leeds is number one for my subject and for a lot of other subjects as well. And yeah, that's about me, and I'm here to help you out with any questions you have. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jyoti. Right, so we'll move on now to do a little bit of an introduction to the university before we start talking about careers. It's just to give you a little bit of context and maybe a little bit more information to those of you who may not be so familiar with Leeds. So University of Leeds was established in 1904, and it's a prestigious research intensive Russell Group university in the UK. We have 100 in the world and the 5th most targeted university by employers in the UK. So it's a fantastic institution to study with, one of the largest in the UK. And our academic curriculum is really focused on latest kind of research, but it's also research led through our various industry and employer links. Among other things, this is what Career Centre staff help us to do, as well as our really well-connected research staff. So when you come to Leeds, there's all kinds of support systems in place to make sure that you get the best possible experience academically, but also to enable you to kind of do lots of professional development, preparing you for the demanding world of work. That, you know, something that that we really care about is making sure that what we teach really reflects what employers are telling us students need and they are looking for in graduates. So that's what we try to deliver. The university is based in the city of Leeds, one of the biggest cities in the UK and the largest regional economy in the UK, and the largest student hub in the UK outside London. Leeds has something for everyone, really. You will find every sector represented in Leeds, including digital technologies, creative industry, financial and professional services, manufacturing, healthcare and innovation, and lots more. So you're going to be studying in the second biggest business, finance and legal centre in the UK after London, and also a big hub for culture in the north of England. So there's something for everyone. And what that means for you as a student is that you'll be in a fantastic student-friendly city, very multicultural, but also somewhere where jobs are really widely available across various sectors. And I think this is a very unique position to be in for the university and the city as well. So the University of Leeds is a campus university. We're based right outside, so about 10 minutes walk from the city centre of Leeds. So all of your teaching would be done on campus, but campus is absolutely amazing with lots of libraries, sports centre, student union, supermarket, post office, even an art gallery on campus. So everything you need as a student, including the Careers Centre, is on campus. But if you're bored of campus, then city centre is a walk away. And that's really great for example, for part-time jobs. If you want to have a job in the city centre, it's all really close to where you're studying. So making it on time to work is made easier through that. So that's about the university and the city. And I'll now hand over to Raghav to tell you more about the university's career services.
Thank you, Christina. So as Christina explained, if you come here, this is a really prestigious university, and by graduation, you will receive a really high quality diploma, which is acknowledged across the globe. You'll be really competitive in the job market. And by the time when you graduate, you will have acquired a lot of academic skills and knowledge. You have got many friends from your course. But to apply for jobs successfully, academic skills aren't necessarily enough, because you need the required skills for job applications, and you need to be aware of what kind of opportunities that are available to you. So that's where Career Center can help. What we do at Career Center, we provide a range of services to students to help them become aware of what employers there are out there, what skills are needed to make successful job applications, and really to provide support with their career planning. Career Center is located in the middle of campus, right next to one of the most popular student accommodations. So maybe if you come to Leeds to study and you will be living in that accommodation, Career Center will be just next to you. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So what kind of support is available to you at the university? I would like to divide our services up into 3 categories. One is opportunities, the second is events, the third one is appointments. So let's start with the opportunities. What do I mean by opportunities? We work in collaboration with more than 5,000 employers. These could be the big names, including Mercedes-Benz, Microsoft, IBM, Intel, all the big names that you can imagine. Or these could be smaller organizations, because you may not be interested in working for the big corporates, but for the smaller ones, like SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises. And we help them advertise their opportunities to students. So first of all, they will have access to the top talent, which is you. And students will have access to all the opportunities, which could be internships, placement opportunities, graduate jobs, volunteering opportunities, or scholarships. Anything and everything they have to offer. And we advertise all these opportunities on an online platform, which is exclusively available to University of Leeds students. So you can filter these, and you will be the first ones to know, among the first ones to know about these opportunities. And these get published on a daily basis. So for example, just to give you an idea, last semester on a single Friday in my team, we published 179 vacancies in our system, which are available to the students. So that's about the opportunities. We make sure that students are aware of what is available to them. We organize a range of events with employers as well. So you can actually ask questions from the employers and talk to them. You can make a good impression. Because you may be wondering, okay, you can read what is available, but why don't you ask yourself so you can get first-hand information? So we organize a range of skills workshops, for example, employer workshops, employer presentations, or career fairs. On these events, you can book one-to-one appointments, for example, with employers on the career fairs. One is happening actually today, Spring Careers Fair, where there are today 110 organizations coming. And on these one-to-one appointments, students can ask questions. You can learn about who the employers are, what they do, what is it like to apply for their vacancies, and you can get first-hand advice. And of course, you can network with the recruiters, which is going to be really useful when you apply for graduate jobs later. So that's about the events. And as I said, we offer appointments as well available to students. So what are these appointments like? Let's say you have found your dream job and you are keen to apply for it. But you are now keen to find out how to make your application outstanding, how to stand out from the crowd, how to make sure that you will be the one who gets that position. What you can do is you can book one-to-one appointments with our expert careers advisors, who will give you advice on how to write your CV, how to write your cover letter. They will actually read what you have written, and they will give you suggestions on improvement. They'll do mock interviews for you, and you can ask any questions regarding your career planning. For example, what to do if you would like to apply for jobs in the UK, or what to do if you would like to apply for roles outside the UK, somewhere internationally, or if you would like to return to your home country, maybe to India. They'll give you information about the academia, research, about what to do if you are keen to start your own businesses. And they'll talk about sponsorship visas as well. And I'm sure in this presentation, we'll talk about sponsorship or visas as well later in a later slide. But for now, can we just please move on to the next slide, Christina? Thank you. So as an international student, there are several challenges that you think you may be facing if you come to Leeds. I am an international student as well. I come from Hungary, so I can give you my personal insights on these. And also I'm living with 2 Indians, so I can give you their insight as well. So for example, you may be wondering whether there is a language barrier and whether your English is good enough to study in the UK, in Leeds. First of all, I can reassure you that, generally from my experience, Indians have excellent English skills. So one of the best English people with one of the best English skills I've ever met. But even if you think you are struggling, there are a range of resources available to you. For example, there is the Language Center, Language Zone, Skills Hub Library. They will provide personalized guidance for you on how to improve your communication skills and English skills. Secondly, for example, I know that you may be wondering what it's like to settle into a new culture, a completely new culture. But I'd like to tell you that from my experience, this is a very, very friendly place, and no one expects you to know everything before you come. So when you come, they will give you all the guidance and information needed to make sure that you settle in fine. There is a nice transition from your home to this UK environment. And there is a lot of things that you can get involved with outside your studies to make this stay here in Leeds as pleasant as possible. Of course, they will give you information on visas as well. If you're thinking about whether you'll be able to do part-time work here, what does your visa make you eligible for? You will have access to everything that you need. So this is great. There are a range of resources available to you. And as I said, one-to-one appointments as well, where you can get personalized advice. Well, other things with that, which I would like to say here, is that for international students, we have a range of job boards available. If you are keen to, for example, work in the UK or work outside, not just the one I said before called My Career, but other job boards as well. So you can browse for a range of opportunities outside as well, outside the UK. Maybe if you would like to go back to India, you can browse for jobs available in India and you will get advice for that. We organize global events, which I'll talk more about on the next slide. And as I said, all the appointments that are available will give you guidance on what to do if you are keen to apply for, let's say, jobs in India or in the UK. And just to give you 2 inspirational stories, one is with me. It's my story. So I attended some events last semester where I asked some questions from employers, and because I think I made a good impression by asking questions, because I could demonstrate that I'm interested in the roles. And what they did is just they sent me a personalized note to say thank you, and the notebook as well. So it's easy to say to impress employers by asking questions. It's easy to network with them. And there are loads of events, and so you can meet any employer that you would like. And of course, just to give you an even more inspirational story, I have a friend who is another international student. And last semester, he went on a career fair. He booked a one-to-one appointment with an IT company. And they had a really nice conversation there. He was asking questions. They asked questions as well from him. And he made such a good impression that after this one-to-one meeting on the career fair, he got an offer for an internship. So really loads of events to get involved with, loads of employers to meet, and you have all the support needed to plan your career and progress. Can we move on to the next slide, please? Thank you. So for those who are keen to work outside the UK after graduation, you will get all the support that you would like. For example, how to write your CV, what are international employers looking for, But what I would like to say here is we organize a range of global events. So events which have a global perspective, where we invite in global employers from different countries. Previously, we had event series and themed weeks focused on China, the Asia Pacific region, India, even India, and Europe. And on each of these themed weeks, we had a range of events, for example, skills workshops, how to apply for global opportunities, what are recruiters looking for in global applications, or employer presentations where you could learn about global opportunities, career fairs where you could book appointments with hundreds of organizations, alumni talks where you had the chance to talk to former University of Leeds students. And just to reiterate, there are job boards available where you can search for global opportunities. And because the University of Leeds is a very, very multinational community, a big proportion of the student community is international. Here, this is a great place where you can network with people from all kinds of backgrounds. So you can, if you're interested in working globally, I'm sure you can meet hundreds of students, academic staff, and various kinds of people here who can give you advice. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Raghav. This is really great, and thanks for all of the introduction. I think it really shows the sort of things that the university does. And I've always said to students, the university, like the University of Leeds, will probably give you one of those really rare opportunities where you will meet people from over 100 different countries. There aren't that many companies and times in your life where you will be able to do that kind of networking. So it's really valuable to know that within career services, you will be able to do all kinds of networking, more or less informal. All of the events that are organised help with finding jobs in the UK, but also outside of the UK, which I know is really important because I know a lot of international students, including those from India, will be looking out for opportunities, for example, to study in the US. And they can be reassured that there will be help from our careers services, whatever and wherever they may want to look for employers. So moving on, I know that some of you hopefully will have heard of the graduate route that was made available in the UK again after a few years break. It's an excellent opportunity for international students to be able to stay in the UK for 2 years on a post-study work visa after their studies. And before you feel established enough, and that gives you a chance to find potentially other employers, progress your career a bit, and then hopefully later on, if you wish to, still apply for a tier 2 work visa. So this is a great opportunity, and we know a lot of our students do make most of this opportunity. That's become a big motivation to come to the UK as well. It's a hugely important step, I think, for the UK to make. Yash, would you like to share your experience as a recent grad of what it was like for you to apply for a graduate route? Is it an easy process, or how does that work?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot. So basically, I guess in Jan 2021, the government started this route again. It's called PSW, which is a post-study work visa. All you have to do is, till I understand, is that you have to apply on the government website. It's fair and easy. All you have to do is just fill out an application form. That's it. Once you get your marks, there are no hidden loopholes. There's nothing. It's plain and simple for application. Fill out the application and you get a visa. You get 2 years of post-study work visa. You don't have to find a sponsorship for those 2 years in a job. And that's the biggest hurdle that I know people face, like us international students face while finding a job in UK. So once that biggest hurdle is out, the job market is quite easy. And as mentioned before, Leeds is a hub of a lot of businesses. And trust me, I've been in Leeds for 3 years now. I don't want to move out of the city for some reason. It has just captured me. And like finding a job becomes such an easy task after that. So I would urge everyone that look into this visa, because that's one of the motivational thing I can reckon from my previous experiences for coming and studying outside, because you can easily find a job here. Apart from this graduate route, there's also another route which is called Tier 2 skilled worker visa. So graduates can switch from this visa to Tier 2 if they feel like they want to stay here more and work more, maybe get a PR. So it's quite easy to switch as well. All you have to do is, if you're working in company for more than 2 years, they would be happy to do that for you, because if you have provided great insight for them. And being a student of University of Leeds, I promise you, you're going to be on the top list of that. So it's not that difficult, honestly. Just go to the government website once you've got your marks, fill out the application, go for the, don't have to go for the interview, just go click, get your picture clicked, you get your visa. It's as simple as that. Nothing complicated.
Great, that's really good to hear. And I'm sure students listening to us are finding this really reassuring. It does help immensely. And on a separate note, I've recently read an article that there's 1 million graduate jobs shortage in the UK. So rest assured that there will be opportunities for you to find jobs in the UK, undoubtedly, but equally, if you want to find jobs outside, you'll have all kinds of support. I mean, the university really wants students to be very ambitious, because we are judged on the caliber of our alumni, and it is what you do with your degree later on that really matters. And we do all kinds of support, and in kind of, we want to support your ambitions, basically. All you need to do as a student is come to us and tell us, look out for the opportunities and tell us how we can help you. So now we've spoken about the graduate route, I think it's maybe a good time to talk about the next frequently asked question, certainly for us at the recruitment fairs, about the internships. So Raghav, I know that you're currently on an internship, and would you like to tell us a little bit about why you decided to do an internship, and kind of what was your motivation, what it gave you? I also know that it's completely unrelated to what you're studying, so this is it would definitely be interesting to hear from you why you decide to do it. We know internships are important, and it's a great thing to do, especially for undergraduate students, and you usually get to do them between the second and third year. It's slightly more complicated for a master's students to do an internship, but there are opportunities within the university to be able to do shorter internships in between your studies, when there's term breaks and so on. I know students are doing that every now and again. It's a matter of looking out for opportunities again. Raghav, would you like to share how your placement has been, and why you did it, what it comes with?
Yes, great question. Thank you, Christina. Internships in general are really popular at the university, and the university very warmly encourages students to do internships or placements or any kind of work experience to boost their employability. It really helps. And originally, so I am on a 4-year-long integrated master's course in mechanical engineering. I finished 3 years already, and now I'm doing a year-long placement, which is this internship. It is also called Year in Industry, where I can put the theory in practice. But my motivation for it, first of all, was to get some more time before I graduate, to think about what I would like to do later, because I wasn't entirely sure. And secondly, to get an insight into what certain industries are like. Now I'm working here at Career Service at the University of Leeds. It's completely unrelated to engineering, but I thought this would be a great option, because here I can develop some soft skills like event management, working with people, some administrative skills as well, promotion skills, and presentation skills like this one now, giving the presentation. And I thought these are skills which I will need regardless of where I work in the future. So I thought I applied for this. So partly because I wanted more time, and also partly because I've heard it really boosts the employability. last semester I attended some conferences where some experts said that those students who do a placement here will be twice as employable as those who didn't. So this is actually very impressive. So that's why these placements are so popular and students are keen to apply. Before I secured this role, I applied for 24 other opportunities. So it took a lot of time to develop the required application skills, but the university was really supportive. So they checked my CV, they gave me feedback on it. They gave me guidance on how to write cover letters, how to talk to employers on LinkedIn. And they even did a mock interview for me where I could practice the actual interview questions, which are, they read the job description and based on that, they constructed the interview questions. So I could practice almost the same interview, which I had to face afterwards. So I have secured the job now. I'm responsible for organizing a range of events, working with hundreds of employers to promote their opportunities to students, sometimes working in social media, doing podcasts, meeting interesting people, and working not just with my colleagues, but also with students as well. So I work a lot with students, give presentations with them, and really, I'm just supporting what the Career Center is doing in every aspect that you can imagine. It's a great opportunity. I'm really enjoying it, and even if let's say you do an internship that you don't enjoy, that will narrow down your plans for your career, and it will make it clear what you are really interested in, because once you get to work, you will experience what it's like to work in a certain team, in a certain industry, in a certain environment, and that will give you a lot of ideas about what you will be looking for later in a job description. Thank you.
Great, thank you. So do you still get some university support? Is it still formally part of your course? Do you have to write some reports or anything like that during your internship to kind of formalize the professional development in any way?
Yes. The most important aspect of this is to get work experience, but the university encourages us to reflect on what we've learned and what skills we have developed. So this is assessed in a way that we need to write a report, which is about the organization, what skills we developed, what kind of things we have been involved with. And it's really about analyzing our understanding of what we have done, and it's encouraging us to reflect on what we have done and encouraging us to think about how we will be able to apply this in the future. But the assessment depends on what course you are doing, because I know others may have to do a presentation. I have to do only a report and a poster.
Great. I imagine that you're still in touch with your department as well at the same time.
Yes, I am.
Great.
Yes, and all the university students will have access to the career services even after they graduate for several years. So everything is available to me.
Excellent. Right, let's move on to another important aspect, which is part-time jobs. And this is another question that we get asked a lot, especially for prospective students thinking about, what will I do when I come? It's so important, especially as a master's student, to get some work experience. It might not be possible to take a year out, obviously, as a master's student, to do a year in the industry. So part-time work becomes really important. So here, I think it would be really nice to hear from Jyoti about her experience. Jyoti, would you like to tell us, how did you find applying for part-time work? Was it easy to find jobs? Did you get university support when applying? Is it easy to manage your part-time job with your studies, especially being a master's student?
Thank you, Christina. And yes, so I do part-time. So I have two part-times. One is the Link to Leeds one, and one is the bartender. So when I first came here, that was around September of last year, and COVID was still there, but not that much. It was dying down that time. So in the beginning of the month, the first thing I did was I made a profile on a site which is called Indeed. So for all the prospective students who do come here, so there is a site here called Indeed. Just make a CV. Like, I'm sure if you're a master student, you already have a CV, or even if you are an undergrad student, you just write your name and all the basic information you need for a part-time. So as because it is a part-time, if you want to do something which is not related to the university or anything like that, for that, you just need a basic CV and you can upload it on Indeed, and you can get like job notifications. And Leeds is a place where there are a lot of part-time job opportunities. And even if you do not get one like that, you can just walk around the city center and they have posters on the walls if they need anyone to work with them. So you can just go in and talk to them. And if they like you, they'll just tell you to give your CV, or sometimes they don't even ask for CV. They can just be like, okay, so from when can you start? It's like that. It's pretty easy to find a part-time. It takes a little time, maybe a month after you come here, but you will definitely get it. And for the work which I do for our university that is linked to Leeds, so I personally got to know it from Instagram, to be honest, because I used to follow Link to Leeds when I was a prospective student, and I always wanted to be an ambassador. Like how I was helped, I wanted to help others as well. So I remember I kept asking people, so what time can we apply for becoming an ambassador or some like anything like that. So I applied around January or December this January, yes, this year. So I'm a very new ambassador to this scheme, and so that's how I got to know about the Link to Leeds thing. And there are a lot of opportunities you get from help from university as well. There's a site called Job Link, and you can just go, that is a part of a university. You can just go on the site and they can tell you all kinds of, and they'll tell you all the part-time opportunities you have, along with what you can do, like the hours. And as because we are international students, so we cannot work more than 20 hours, which our visa states. I'm sure everybody's going to talk about that in a few minutes. So it's very important that you do not exceed your 20 hours. So you can work in a week, you can work like 3 days or 2 days, depending. Sometimes you just work 2 days and you're done with your 20 hours, and that's enough to sustain you for the month, not like, I mean, for the week, or how much ever you want to work. Depends on how much you go out or how much you want to spend and all that. And about the careers and everything also, like I'm from food biotech, and not from a very like the actual like computers or business, or I chose a very different subject for myself. So we have a lot of job market here as well in my field, and we are very fortunate. Like we get a weekly newsletter. I think all the departments do get that as well. So in the weekly newsletter, there's an employability manager for every school. So I'm from the School of Food Science and Nutrition. Like Yash was from the School of Computer Science, I think. And so in that way, so we get the weekly newsletter, and there's the employability person who gives all the details. Like she or he keeps posting job opportunities, like all kinds of job opportunities, be it part-time or graduate roles, or not just normal jobs. And graduate roles are something which undergrads generally apply for after they are done with their degree. But it's not that a master's student cannot apply for it. I used to think that it's a graduate role, so I might not be able to apply for it, but that's not the case. You're always welcome to apply for. It's always better to apply, and then if you do get it, good enough. If you do not, it's a good experience. So yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities, and the university will definitely help you out regarding everything. And the career center is a great place to get help. I took the help recently, a week back, where I had a job interview at 5 p.m. and I took the help I got a mock interview done for myself. So I knew what kind of interview I was going to have. And I booked an appointment with the career center, and they helped me out like in the morning. They prepped me for the interview, and it really helped me out a lot while I was in the interview. So the university is there for whatever you need. If you need help for interviews, for just guidance about your career, or if you're worried what you want to do after you graduate or after you're done with your masters, it's always, university will always give you all kind of help you need. So.
Great, thanks, Jyoti. That's really helpful, and I think it does show how much the university tries to help and connect students with employers in every department. So it's not reserved, like you said, to popular business law or engineering students. So finally, I'd like to invite Yash, our recent grad, to share his experience of actually applying for a graduate job. Which is obviously the aim of coming to university. We know that what you want to do as a student is make sure that this investment of 3 years, 4 years, or 1 year in the UK at a good university will really help you land a really, really good job with a good company. So Yash, would you like to tell us what was your experience? What are you doing now? How did it pan out for you? When did you start looking for jobs after your studies, or was it towards the end of your studies?
Yeah, so basically my thing was a bit different because as I mentioned, I was doing COVID batch, the COVID just started, the world was into lockdown. I'm not going to make it some inspirational story. I'm just going to lay it out straight out there. Is basically, for me, it was different because I had to find a job with limited amount of visa time in the world during the time where everything was shut down. But as everything was mentioned before, I took a lot of help from Career Center because the way we apply for a job here, the cover letter, the CV for UK is quite different than what we do back in India. I do have an experience of working in India as well. So Career Center did help me a lot. And trust me, like I used to have I had 3 or 4 sessions with them, and it used to always be like, they used to tell me like, be patient, it's going to take time. And I was like, I just have this amount of time left. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And like, I still remember that after applying for a lot of jobs and getting a few rejections, you have to be very, I don't know how to put this through, like, just be patient. Honestly, you'll get the job because you are well mentored, you are well educated because you're studying here, and Career Center is going to help you through it. Not just that, but as Jyoti mentioned, as Raghav mentioned, as Christina was mentioned before, is that part-time jobs helps a lot, irrespective whether you work in Mackey's or you work in some cafe or you work in the field you're working, because you gain some experience. You gain experience of a lot of skills, say customer facing, say management, say working under pressure, which are very important. So irrespective what part-time job you do, it's always helpful for you when you're finding a new job. And honestly, I got a job like 5 days before my visa was expiring. And I still remember I was doing my last week shopping, grocery, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna book my flight this morning, and I got a call. And this is not fake. This is actually true. When I told about this to everyone was shocked, and they were like really happy because I finally found a job during the time when people were not. This is not just because I was potent, because of the university I studied and because of the help I got with all the people around me. And so this is the thing. I'll say this to everyone. Whenever you come here, your first and foremost thing should be education. Concentrate on that. Don't run behind jobs from the start. Forfeit yourself, get educated. And once you know you're settled well in 2 months, 3 months down your degree, then start applying, then applying for jobs, but contact career centers from the start. Get your CV sorted, get everything sorted. They'll help you with different job sites. There's LinkedIn, there's Indeed, there's OTA, there's a lot of different things, starting from SMEs to large corporations. You choose your pick. It's as simple as that. Don't forget to contact them about your graduate route. That is a blessing. Take that, use that. Apply for a job, you'll get it. It's as simple as that. And career centers, trust me, are really, really helpful. I cannot emphasize on that enough. It's as simple. Be patient, be smart, apply for it, you'll get there, and don't forget to have fun. That's the most important part. Don't forget to have fun, irrespective of what you're doing. Have as much as fun. Trust me, like as Krishna was mentioning, the university campus, I still go there because I have so many memories. Me and my friends, we still meet there. We still go there on every second weekend. We'll go there, we'll sit there because we have so many memories there. Even like I was there before COVID, okay? And after COVID, I've seen both parts of it. And I'm still telling you, like, it was damn fun. And I personally, I have not just used Link to Leeds, I've used JobLink. I worked as a student ambassador in university during the COVID time using JobLink. So I've done everything. I've done all those things that we've spoken about. And I'm telling you, it is an experience that you'll never forget. Go for it. You'll have the time of your life. That sounded very inspirational. I'm sorry.
Right, thanks. Yeah, my job is done here. We don't need to do anything else. No, thanks. It's really fantastic to hear that you've had such a great experience. I think a lot of students are concerned, especially, the last few years, mixed teaching, what it would be like. Is it worth, it's a lot of money to invest in studying abroad in the UK or elsewhere. So I'm sure students are finding this really reassuring. And it's a really great inspirational story. I absolutely love it. So we definitely want to give you some time to ask the questions now. And I'm sure we will all be able to answer your questions between us. So Deepika, would you like to let us know if you've had some questions from,
Yes,
from
sure.
the attendees?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for such a knowledgeable presentation. We can now move towards the Q&A session. So the first question the student is asking, I have 3 years of experience in software testing. Can I apply for masters in AI, or is there any specialized course for 1 year duration?
Yes, I mean, absolutely. You can apply for a master's in the School of Computing. We've got a few choices, so any one of your choice is absolutely fine. You can, just to be safe, because computing courses have been incredibly popular in the recent years, this year as well. So it is quite competitive. So make sure, I'd suggest that you maybe make two choices just to get a chance of getting a place. So yeah, absolutely. Your work experience definitely adds to your application. You don't need work experience to be able to apply for a master's, but it's definitely something to mention in your application if you have worked in the field. It makes you a stronger candidate for a competitive course. That can only be a good thing.
Thank you, Christina. The next question. What do you accept out of student who is applying for masters in public policy?
So best to check what the website says for entry requirements. So if you go to our university page or speak to our colleagues and counsellors at SAUK, I'm sure they'll be able to show you what the requirements are. I don't remember off the top of my head all of the requirements, but as a general rule, we have over 200 master's courses. As a general rule, we will ask for a first class Indian degree from a recognized institution. So if you're unsure, I'm sure colleagues at SIUK or at India team will be able to tell you if you just show them your marks and your sort of transcript so far, they'll be able to tell you whether you've got a chance of applying. And that's it. For India, we accept English Standard 12 as proof of English. So yeah, if there is any work experience requirement, it would be specified on the website in the description of the course. So you can just refer to that to check. Most courses will not require work experience. However, there may be a few that may ask for that. And like I said, work experience, if you have some, it definitely strengthens your application for competitive courses, for all courses, really.
Thank you, Christina. So we have received many questions about the process, like the admission process, and also students are quite curious about the visa deadline and the application deadline.
Mm-hmm. So again, this will differ by course. Some schools at Leeds, for example, computing, design, business, media, and a few others will have deadlines to apply because they are incredibly competitive, and they had to move on to a system where we have so-called staged applications. So there's a deadline to apply and a deadline within a month or two for admissions to give you a decision. So you have to refer to the website because different courses and different departments may have different deadlines. For courses where we don't exercise staged admissions, usually the deadline is probably end of June to apply. And really realistically, if you want to make it, considering the visa application process, we would encourage you to apply as soon as possible now, because it does take time for admissions to process your application, to issue an offer, make a decision, then all of the documents that you'll have to prepare. It all takes time. This year, as far as I understand, there isn't a visa priority service in India. And so we know that UK VI is busy with processing visas as well. There's a huge demand. I'm sure colleagues at SIUK will know really well and will be able to advise you really well on the visa process and application process. So if you have any doubts, just feel free to get in touch with them and they will guide you step by step. We've worked with them really closely in India. So, you know, we regularly keep in touch, and so they have been really well trained to help students apply to the University of Leeds.
Thank you, Christina. The next question: who are the top 4 employers after completing a master's in cloud computing?
That's a really difficult question to answer. I don't think we would have that information. Rego, I doubt that you'd know, but I'll ask you if you want to, if you've got an answer.
We don't have a top 4 employer, but we work with a range of employers who recruit programmers or students to the IT sector. So, for example, some employers that we work with a lot: Intel, IBM, InfinityWorks, FDM, and a lot of technology companies which have programming departments or IT departments like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, AMG, Aston Martin, various kinds of big names, and even finance companies or banks recruit for programming roles. So it's not really, restricted.
Basically,
to that
doesn't
kind of
work
sector.
like that. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. That you've got 4 employers coming to recruit from one university from one course. Basically, every year you'll have students going to different employers. Jobs every year will differ. You can rest assured that the University of Leeds does work with really big names as well as smaller companies, and it's up to you to reach out for opportunities and just see what opportunities will be available in the year you'll be graduating. And you may wish to target those really big international names, or you may actually find a better development opportunity with a smaller company where you feel that like you will learn a lot more, you'll have a lot more responsibility, possibly a better pay. So it really differs. I think it would be really difficult to say for every course, these are the top 4 employers, because every year the employers may be different and the job market doesn't work like that. You have to impress the employer personally. So they might recruit you from the University of Leeds cloud computing course, or they might go for somebody else. It's totally up to how well you do and how well you prepare as a student. So we've got the links. We make the most of it. We allow opportunities, and we make sure these opportunities are advertised and available to students. But it's down to students to do the impressing.
Thank you. The next question: do you have student accommodation? If so, how does it work?
Okay. I don't know, Jyoti, Yash, would you like to say something about the student accommodation? I'm sure you'll have more up-to-date information than I do, more practical experience.
I'm
Jyoti, you can go
currently-
ahead. Go for it. St. Mark's, go for it.
Yeah, I'm currently living in the student accommodation. So, sorry, can you just say the question again? I didn't, sorry.
Sure. The question is, just 1 second. Yeah. Do you have student accommodation? If so, how does it work?
Okay, so yes, we do have a lot of student accommodations, and the one in which I am staying is called St. Mark's, and it's only for the master's students. So you get to meet everybody who is currently doing a master's, but there are other student accommodations as well where you can stay, and there's a mix of masters and undergrads as well. And so I applied for my student accommodation around June, and I got to know about it within 3 weeks, like which one I got. I applied. So there are two. I applied for two. That one was Blenheim Point and one was St. Mark's. But my first choice was St. Mark's. And then within 3 weeks they're going to let you know, and you have to give a deposit of £200, and which you'll get back at the end of your contract. So my contract started from September 2021 to this September, 2nd of September. So I have to move out by 2nd of September, and I have no idea where I'm going to stay after that. So, after your contract is over, you get your £200 back, and it depends on accommodations, like what kind of accommodation you choose, whether you choose an ensuite, or ensuite is something in which you have your own washroom and your own room, but a shared common room. So I chose ensuite. And so when you do apply for student accommodation, you're going to get an option as ensuite. So some people might not know what it means. So this is what it means. And there's also accommodations where you share a washroom and a common room. You have your own rooms. Mostly you'll always have your own rooms. It might be different of your own washroom or not. And accordingly, your price varies. And then you can also pay your accommodation together in the beginning of September when you apply, or you can choose installments. Like I had taken installments, like I paid it in three goes. So yeah, and I think the first pay is, if you take installments, the first pay is around November, the second pay is in January, and third pay is in May. It was this month, and that's it. And after that, this is the entire process of student accommodation. So
right. Thanks, Josh. If anybody wants to know more about accommodation, there will be a live chat on the university link to Leeds pages. We'll link the pages in the chat. There will be a live chat opportunity to ask all of your questions about accommodation directly to accommodation team who sort out accommodation. The main thing for you to remember is Leeds has over 20 different halls of residences that the university works with. Some are on campus, some are walking distance from campus, some are a bit like a bus ride away, but there's also private and plenty of private accommodation for students in Leeds. So take your pick. You can compare the prices, and we'll have these live chat events and lots of accommodation advice for you, also through Link to Leeds. So yeah, you'll be sorted, I'm sure. And I'm sure Jyoti will find some private accommodation after she moves out of St. Mark's. It is very popular, that accommodation indeed. Do we have another question, Deepika?
Yes, we have many questions. So the other question is, what is the employability rate for postgraduates?
Very broad question. I don't think we would have stats like this. It would be very difficult and impossible for any university to track something like this. What we can say with all certainty is we are in 2021 High Flyers Graduate Market Report, which is done for university graduates across the UK. We are the top 5 most targeted university by employers. Majority of ours, even this year. There you go. Raghav, do you have an answer, a better answer to this than I do? You go ahead. You work in the department.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I don't have a better, but we are in the top 5 most recruited universities in the UK, most targeted universities in the UK by graduate recruiters, even this year.
Yeah, I think in general, the stats I've seen, over 90% of students will go to work or further study after graduating. Generally, the University of Leeds has absolutely excellent employability rates. And we also have a department within the career services called Spark, which helps students start up their own businesses. I've personally met a few Indian students who have set up their businesses during their studies with us, and I was absolutely impressed. One set up a business that went international within a few months, and the other student set up a business in the UK that was expanding from Leeds to different cities in the UK in a matter of months, on an entrepreneur visa when there was no graduate visa opportunity in the UK. So there's lots of things that you will be able to do and encouraged to do when you become our student. And all I can say is that this is one of the best universities with one of the best reputations with employers. I think Raghav mentioned we work with thousands, both global, national, but also smaller regional SMEs as well. So take your pick.
Thank you, Christina. The next question. So the student is asking about Bachelor of Engineering, and also he wants to know about the fees and the scholarship, if there is any scholarship available.
So I would refer you to the website. There is a few different courses, 3 or 4 different schools within engineering, and they will offer some scholarships. Fees will be about 22 to 25,000 pounds, but it's all on the website, and I'm sure our SIUK colleagues will be able to help you and direct you, depending on what kind of engineering you want to study, really. But the website and our course finder will be the best source of information for you. There is a link directly there onto what scholarships are available.
Thank you, Christina. The next question. Hi, if we have got an unconditional offer, still we need to take IELTS for the jobs in UK?
I don't think so. I mean, Yash, you may correct me, but I don't think anybody would have asked you about your IELTS.
No.
I mean,
We don't need to give IELTS. No, never. You've got unconditional offer. Why do you need an IELTS after that?
Not
So
for
no,
jobs.
sorry.
Yeah.
Not for jobs, no. We don't need any IELTS.
And not for a graduate visa.
No, nothing. We don't need IELTS for anything.
No, I don't know about the tier 2 visa. But I
No,
don't
we
think so.
don't.
After being so long in the UK and finishing a UK university, nobody should be asking you about an IELTS, not an Indian student. I mean, in the interview, you'd figure out that.
Yeah, actually, the IELTS is only required if and only if you don't have a proper format to show that you have studied in English since as your first language, which I'm pretty sure is for everyone. That's just for entering the university, and it's the only reason they ask for it, so that when you come here and you're studying here, it's not a big problem for you when the professors are explaining things that are teaching. That's it. After that, for visa purposes, for job purposes, you don't need IELTS.
No, your university, UK university, will work as your official English language qualification, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, thank you, Christina and Yash. So I think Yash already covered this, because one student asked about the IELTS criteria where the education is in English language. So will he or she will be able to give IELTS exam, or they can waive off that?
So if you've got standard 12 meeting our criteria, and you can see the equivalents for standard 12 on our South Asia website, which I think would have been linked in the chat now, you don't need to produce an IELTS. We will accept English standard 12. Sujata might remember what it is exactly. I can't from the top of my head now. But yeah, your English standard 12 works as an exemption from IELTS. So it's only if your English grade from standard 12 is too low, or if your course requires something very specific. So for example, for some of the medicine courses, you may still have to take IELTS, or if you're doing a translation course. But for great majority, will accept your standard 12.
Thank you. The next question. Yeah, if I'm starting in September 2023, when should I apply for the application and for the admission process?
So our applications won't be open until sometime in October for 2023. So you'd have to wait until we've admitted this batch for September 2022, and then admissions have a breather and then they open applications for 2023. We get tens of thousands of applications, so we can only work on a 1-year cycle at any given time, I'm afraid. So look out to apply from October. The earlier the better. So for popular courses, and I'm sure you would have heard, anything in data science, computing, in the recent years has just become hugely popular. I cannot explain how popular this has become. So if these are your courses, law, business, lots of engineering, computing degrees, for Leeds, media design, these are all degrees that you really want to make your applications early, because they get really competitive quite early on.
Thank you. The next question. Will there be any career fairs? If so, then during which month?
Raghav?
Yes, there are usually career fairs in autumn and also in spring, and sometimes in specific careers during the term at any point in time. But usually the big career fairs are in October, which are sector specific. So there will be a separate career fair for STEM, for technology. There will be a separate one for fast-moving consumer goods and retail, for law, for finance, for sustainable organizations, for volunteering and third sector organizations. So there are a lot of career fairs happening during the year, yes.
Thank you. The next question. What about the employment sponsorship? Many companies reject international students because they do not want to sponsor them.
So the graduate route takes that out. I think this is what Yash, you said. Basically, because the UK now has the graduate route option, that means that employers don't have to worry about employing you as a graduate. And then that gives you 2 years to find employers who can sponsor you. And in those 2 years, it should be easy enough to find the right sponsors with the experience that you would get in the 2 years on the graduate route visa.
Thank you. The next question. When does the course registration and tuition fees payment take place for September 2022 offer holders? Is this done after arriving in Leeds before?
Tuition fees. So I'm sure SIUK will be able to guide you, but to make your visa application strong, we'd probably advise that you pay at least 50% of your tuition fees before you arrive. As a university, we ask you for a deposit of £1,500 if you're a postgraduate student. We don't ask you to pay anything if you're an undergrad. However, to make a strong visa application, I'm sure SIUK colleagues will be telling you everything about that. They're more of an expert in visa applications. They will probably be advising you to pay as much as possible in advance. The university allows 2 payments. One would be in September when you arrive, and the other one would be sometime in January, February, the second installment. So you can pay in 2 installments, but it's something to consider as well when you're preparing your visa application as well. And that's where SIUK colleagues would be able to advise better than I would.
Thank you. The next question. What are the career prospects in other countries or continents like Europe, US, or UK post-graduating graduating from the Leeds?
I wish I knew the exact answer to this. So all I can say is you will be graduating from a world top 100, so a really high reputation institution. We work with international companies, like Raghav said, lots of them big global players. So sitting in the top 100 in the world university will put you in a really good stance to be able to apply for jobs in Europe, but globally as well. I don't have the knowledge of the global job market, not even the European job market. It differs country to country. We can assure you that we will help you no matter where you choose to apply for a job, which employer, we will help you. I know of students who have applied to huge pharmaceutical companies. I think GSK, as an undergrad student, there wasn't a recruitation, they weren't recruiting, there wasn't a recruitment process. They just asked us to help them submit a speculative application. they got the job. They got an internship that didn't even exist. They made an internship for her. So everything's possible, and all you can do is make sure that you do your best. You choose a really good university with a good reputation, and you work really hard on kind of getting out there, finding the opportunities. Like Yash said, just getting involved and having fun, but also thinking about what you do, what you engage with to improve your employability skills and do the networking.
Thank you, Christina. The next question. If we get a conditional offer for September 2022 and by some reason we cannot attend September 2022, can we defer the offer letter for September 2023?
No, so because we've become so incredibly competitive and busy, especially over the last 2 years, we unfortunately can't allow deferrals, especially not at master's level anymore. You'd have to reapply.
Thank you. The next question. There are news about inflation in UK and upcoming recession. How will this affect the job opportunities after completing postgrad?
I don't know. I was a last 10 years ago recession batch, and I did fine. Raghav, is this a question you come across?
No, I haven't come across this, but usually students ask about how COVID impacted the job market and how the number of opportunities look like now. So what I can say now, I know the inflation has been quite high for several months now, but there are a bigger number of opportunities now than even before COVID, before the pandemic. So there are a lot of jobs available right now.
Can I pitch in here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I got a job when entire world was shut down. Okay. They're saying recession is there, but at the same time, the market is booming. I'm getting a call from 10 recruiters a day for jobs. So if you're hearing that there's this recession, the recession is in entire world, the inflation is in entire world right now because we just came out of pandemic. At the same time, because of inflation, the market is booming because everyone's coming out with something on new. So don't worry about those things. As I mentioned, and we all have been mentioning, we are all there to help you out. The entire university is there to help you out. So just like focus on the studies. If you're coming here, have fun, do your part-time jobs or any jobs you want, and you'll be fine. You'll do well.
Thank you.
We've heard about recession coming for the last 2 or 3 years. Since Brexit, there's been a recession coming in the UK. It still hasn't come. So, it's very difficult to predict these things. But, you can't control this. We will help you. We'll help you as much as we can, even in recession. So I'd be quite optimistic as a Leeds graduate.
Okay. We have covered all the questions from the chat box. Many thanks for answering all the questions so well and sharing your knowledge with us. We are now moving towards the end of this seminar. I would request if you have anything else you would like to put forward for the audience who are watching this live right now.
Great, thank you very much. Thanks for all of these fantastic questions, really valid questions, and it's really interesting to have these conversations. What I would like to finish on is that I would strongly encourage you to get in touch with our Link to Leeds ambassadors and watch our Link to Leeds events like the Accommodation live chat. There are lots of different, student opportunities, careers live chats happening, and students are really best placed to give you lots of advice. We also mentioned that we have India team based in India, in Delhi and Chennai. So Sujata was here with us today, for example, but we've got other team members, and they are absolutely fantastic in advising and helping students to apply, but also prepare to come to the UK, bits of, visa advice. They're not expert visa trained advisors, but they have helped thousands of students from India come to Leeds every year. So fantastic team. I would like to extend special thanks to our panel of students today. Thank you for all of your contributions, sharing your experiences. It was really great to hear, and I really hope that everybody found the session helpful. Thanks to Deepika and SI UK for organising this. We really appreciate the opportunity. Okay, have a good afternoon or evening, everybody.
Thank you so much for your kind words. To all the audience, if you have any further questions, please feel free to contact our SIUK India offices. We'll be more than happy to help you. In the end, I would like to say thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable time today. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, thanks.
Thank you. Bye.